Hey, not so fast. First, this is the plan. We take a model, break it, then we fix it with whatever bits we can find. Let's go. Step 1, we need an ork. And not just any ork, we need a Mr. Modulorkorkork. Specifically because his orks are modular. So we can take bits from a couple of kits and create the ultimate aspiring rocket riding Mekboy. Mr. Modulorkorkorks fit together like any sane ork should. Head on the neck, hands on the arms. Beautiful, modular. Quite the opposite to some other miniature kits I've seen recently, wherein you have a joint running through an unfortunate bum crack. Mr. Modulork also makes goblins, so we'll bring one of those along for the ride. He can't say no. Speaking of ride, we've acquired a very special quest item for today's video. Appropriate name. Fireworks, or more specifically, rockets. I've been assured by the man that sold these, who didn't say anything at all, that they should do the job. They certainly look the right size. Let's not mess around, we'll get the boys strapped on. I can see he's eager to get going. This aspiring mech boy has a dream. A dream to create a very big boom. Just look how pleased he is to have many times his body weight in explosives between his legs. Speaking of, you may ask as I prepare to base coat this mini,
but how are you able to hold that piece of material, the spray can and the rocket, with only 2 hands?
The answer is simple, but classified. I just hope and pray it doesn't explode. If things do take a turn for the worst, like Steve Irwin in the Stingrays, is that a band? And someone finds this footage, please upload it. It's the least the subscribers deserve. Now it's time to crack out the speed paints and spend longer than necessary getting some colour on these minis, which are strapped to a rocket that is highly likely to turn them to dust very soon. Right, well that's Hansel and Gretel painted. Now for their mighty steed. I'm going to close my eyes for this and channel my inner ork. Red to go faster. Checkerboard because it's compulsory. Metal because it's dead hard. And finally, the Mona Lisa of the ork world. And now we need to build the launch pad. I've scavenged this piece of wood. I didn't quite need it to be 5 foot long, but it does have a convenient trench down the middle. And the launching tube sits in it perfectly. Bit of hot glue and it welds the two together forever, hopefully. Test the fit. Nailed it. If the British government could look away for 2 seconds, I think we've accidentally built a rocket launcher. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get away with that. Can you shut the... Right, fine.
Rokkit Launcha.
The next component, a drain pipe, acquired from Never You Mind. We're going to send the rocket down this pipe and into a barrel so we can recover the pieces after it explodes. The only issue is locating a barrel. I only know of one. Bingo, that's perfect, except for the... that's going to be an issue. Better ask permission, you know what they're like. Where is he? Do you mind if I... Sorry folks, I guess we're all doomed, but it had to be done. Anyway, we need a drain pipe sized hole in this. So we'll mark it out, drill our guiding holes, cut the rest, and in she goes. Neato burrito. We're at the launch site. Definitely do not try this at home. I am a trained professional operating in a controlled area. Don't be mental. You've just made a barrel bomb. Brace yourself, brother. It's time, and I've got no idea what's going to happen. Godspeed.
Time for the big boom!
Holy moly, where am I? Well, I think I'm alive. Let's check the damage. Foot reveal, they'll be all over that. The quail is going to be furious. The war never ends. can confirm this smells diabolical. But he must be in there somewhere, so let's fish him out. Oof, he doesn't feel so good, Mr. Stark. He's swapped his colour scheme, but overall he's done better than expected. If that was water washable resin, he'd be in a billion pieces right now. Where's the little guy? Oh dear, poor little fella. Let's search the scraps. There we go, all is not lost, other than his nose, and jaw, and legs, and dreams. Now, we fix them up. First step is bath time. We'll do what we can to clean them up, give them a good scrub. Fingers crossed we can get them looking... Ooh, that doesn't feel very good. Ah, looks like that big boom cracked more than the clouds. Well, that's just become a little bit more difficult. Let's find out how these guys are getting rebuilt. Chaos Carnage, Episode 2. Now, with the dice we built in Episode 1, we roll it and then the model must be rebuilt with the influence of whichever chaos symbol it lands on, unless it lands on the skull. Oh dear. If you'd like to take part, you can do. Just head over to the Discord and post your efforts in the Chaos Carnage channel. If you'd like me to roll the dice for you, I can do that. Just ask. The Discord is currently rated 5 stars. We've got all these glowing reviews. Link in the description. Now for the roll, where its fate is sealed forever. Khorne, the Blood God, the Lord of Skulls. Interesting. I don't have much red paint left, or skulls for that matter. Used a lot on that Ork RC car. First, we need the Bitz. We'll start with the Goblin. Dear oh dear, we've got our work cut out for us with this chap. Legs. Let's see what we've got. Lizard leg? No, we did that last time. Goblin legs. Too easy. Shredded zombie legs. Now we're getting somewhere. Chop the extra material off, fit them in place. Yes, look at those skinny minis. Next up, the arms. A big club, bow and arrow. No, got to remember it's Khorne. Skulls for the skull throne. That's better. Now, the other arm. Trident? No. Give me a minute. Oh, yes. Perfect. My strong hand. Now then, the face. While I am a professional plastic surgeon, yeah, very clever, that's gone a bit too far, and unfortunately I donated my last bag of noses to charity. However, I do have this sprue of troll bits, which happens to have some big old schnozzers on it. The nose. With some precision cuts we can extract this. Look at that, that is 17 years of surgical experience in action. I promise you it'll fit perfectly and look even better than the original. Jesus Christ. And while we're here, we'll take a jaw as well. We need something which says, I was hit by the back end of a Chaos Demon's resurrection spell. Nailed it. Now then, the big boy, the Mekboy, the main event. Unfortunately, I don't have many 40k bits. Most of these are fantasy and Age of Sigmar. Not much use for a cornflake Mekboy in the 41st millennium. However, there is another forbidden bag, only recently sealed, of discarded defiler pieces which weren't good enough for the Christmas turkey. If I can't fashion some kind of Mekboy body out of these, then I will ship myself to Guantanamo Bay. Almost finished already. Oh, don't do it. Spoil sport. Sit tight, young man. As for the legs, they'll take some adjusting, but I think they will work. The unstoppable Spider Mekboy. We're going to have to adapt those feet to be more stompy. While we're at it, why not add a third leg for extra stomping? It's for balance, he fell over. Next,
The claw.
there was no way this wasn't going to happen. We won't need the ball joint. Need to clear some room. And again, through the magic of surgery, specifically pinning, we'll attach the undersized arm to the body. We need some extra bits and pieces, and for those, we need to venture into the cursed zone. I knew they were hidden in here somewhere. A few leftover tank and defiler sprues. There's not much on them, but there's enough. Even some chaos icons. Very nice. Let's bulk him up.
Smash, bash, crash, orks.
Looking quite chaotic, we're just missing
Corn.
forever aligned to the god of blood, war and murder. I think we're done, aren't we?
No! Wings!
Dragon Mutilation, sponsored by... No, it's not. But either way, we need some milliput. Mix it up and then we'll create some new enlarged shoulders for our Mekboy. Big enough to hold these wings. You can't really interact with Khorne and expect to leave without large demon wings. A bit of added juice to the power claw. And while those two enjoy their new chaotic bodies, we've got an equally chaotic base to build. Starting with foam, crumped to size. We'll sketch the rough layout before carefully cutting out the formations. Don't want to make a mess. Next, sharp rocks to create this barren, chaotic wasteland. We'll pile a few up for the Mekboy to stand on. Not that he needs to stand anymore. He's got wings, you know. Until you drop him or knock him over and they snap off. Shh, 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 shh. Forbidden paste time. Made from sand, Mod Podge, PVA and polyfiller. If you covered yourself in this and left it to dry, you'd be indestructible. Not that the terms and conditions would let me recommend you do that, but... Anyway, there's not much in the chaotic wasteland beyond rocks, little rocks, and skulls. For the skull throne. And the ground. Definitely need some on the ground. Got a few of these left, so we'll dot them throughout the ravine. I've got no idea how I have any skulls left, but I'm pretty sure a new one spawns whenever I have a negative thought about mushrooms. We'll fix the stone-cold Cornish Mekboy in place, followed by his little buddy. Then send them to the spray booth for cleansing. Primed with black, then highlighted with grey, and then white. We're aiming for the classic Khorne colour scheme today, mainly red and gold. And green. What? We'll get the armour panels with Army Painter speed paints, red and black, before crossbreeding the Purple Swarm speed paint with Citadel's Flesh Tearers red to colour the skin. Now, while I undertake everyone's favourite task, painting trim, I'd like to thank the Patreon members. Without them, none of these videos would exist. So if you're looking for someone to blame, here they are. Particularly Wordner, suspicious character. Also, Danimals and Velena, welcome. Joining the queue of devilish individuals who endlessly torture me on Patreon by voting for the wrong thing in the polls. But we love them all the same. If you'd like to gain access to some extra content, voting and sneak peeks, there's a link in the description. Sign up and help me buy a tank. Anyway, I apologise to those of you who are Purple Ork enjoyers. It was never meant to last. We need our Sauron dry palette. You can see the birth of that over on Patreon. We're going for a white dry brush over the entire model. Skin, wings, armour, all of it. Chop on chop, as Don would say. Then we essentially paint the model again, but this time the white parts will be brighter and will have remnants of the previous darker layer in the recesses. Cancel the protest, the orc is green once more. This is the Ghillie Dew Speed Paint, in case you were wondering. For the wings, we'll blend the green into red. Have to work quickly while both paints are still wet, using a clean damp brush where the two meet. Need to pull them into each other. Another white dry brush, not as heavy this time and only on areas hit by light. Before, a lighter green. Then again before finishing it off with yellow. The armour panels get the same treatment. Then we'll touch up some of the details. Onto the base, not much needs to be done, we'll just darken the barren land around the rocks before moving on to the ravine. What are you doing? I don't really know, but it's going to involve tape and plastic film in case we spill, and a tin can to hold the remains of our Chinese resin. Some red ink, this is definitely going to work. Are you sure about that? Definitely not. Blood for the blood god. Are you sure that's going to hold?
Blood for the blood god.
I can't tell where it's all going.
Blood for the blood god. Blood for the blood god. Fire for the fire god. Die, bubbles, die!
Oh god, it's leaking everywhere. Need more tape. So, did it survive overnight? Find out in the next episode. No. Find out right now with me. Oh, delicious. Look at that. Nailed it. Needs a bit of touching up, but otherwise, not too bad.
Hey, listen up, boys, I gotta tell the tale of a Mekboy who had a dream but ended up in hell. He had a vision wild and loud to make a boom that cracked the clouds. The sky went red. Fire and scrap rained down on his head. McCorn was watching, smiling wide. Oi, this one's brutal. He's mine. The big boom, Mekboy's reborn, resurrected by corn in the heart of the storm. Stronger, meaner, greener, built to destroy. Now the galaxy fears the Mekboy.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe, please. Subscribe, please. Please subscribe. Thank you. Love you. Bye. Bye. Join the Patreon and Discord. Love you. Bye. Bye. And leave a comment and like the video. Please.